Hey, I don't have a lot to say about this, so I'm going to keep it brief and kind of unstructured and just give my thoughts. Uh, Normally, I start these videos out and I give you some kind of facts on some kind of story, and I catch you up, and then we do some analysis and some predictions. I don't have to do that here. I'm pretty sure this event is broken the noise enough that everyone's aware of what's going on. Conservative podcaster Charlie Kirk was shot in the neck and died while speaking at a college in Utah. I will be quite honest that the first thing that struck me, it's only been less than a day. Within 2 hours, I was deeply aware of how well oiled the machine has become that ingests events like this, churns it up, and spits out every possible variation of every take you could imagine. So that no matter where you fall politically, no matter what you think, no matter who's your hero and who's your villain, you will have a viral take ready to consume. And you will have one that is the opposite of yours that'll make you enraged. You will be both simultaneously told what to think and given something to make you furious. And then every one of those takes immediately has every possible variation of counter take, and you ingest it all. This is not all new, but I did feel struck by it because millions of people, just like me, were going through the same thing. We're ingesting this violent video and then every possible variation of voice from all over the world at the same time, mixing it up in our brains. And what I felt was we're just drowned in noise. It's just there's no progress. There's no change. There's no, maybe change for the worse, but no real thought on what we could do, or it's just nothing. It's noise. And that's before we even know who did it. We don't even know the killer's identity, at which point that will be fed into the machine and it will spit out every possible take on that, on the killer's ethnicity or background or race or gender or what political leaning. And then all those will have counter takes and we'll just go through the process again. At no point will we make progress on anything. And as someone who, gives his opinions online on things, it really struck me how futile this all is. What the fuck is the point? No matter what I say, it will just be fed algorithmically to people that agree with me. So it'll be one of the cacophony of takes, and then it'll go to the right person, and they'll go, wow, based. There's no changing someone's mind. There's no, did you think about this? It's just everyone has the micro niche of take to what they want, and they're fed exactly what they desire, and we'll be living in that. So given all that, given that you've been fed 100 different takes that are all more extreme and more interesting and more, I'm sure you'll find my immediate take boring. You guys know how there's like one issue in America that regular people across whatever political spectrum you're on can agree on. Pedophilia is bad. That's like the one thing left that most people can agree on. My boring take is that I think the same about murder. I think murder, I don't care who did it. It doesn't matter that I don't like Charlie Kirk. It doesn't matter that I disagree with him. I'm not saying I'm broken up about this. I'm not shedding tears. I'm not hand wringing, but I don't get pumped when someone gets shot while speaking at a college. It's just not a society I want to live in. So that's my boring take. That's not really what this video is about. But you want to hear it, I guess. Before you go on, I'm fully aware of the irony that a man who died of gun violence was saying things like this in life.
I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal.
Okay? Do I see the irony there? Yeah, absolutely. But I'm going to be honest with you. I get no glee out of going to hospitals, finding lung cancer patients, and laughing at them if they smoked. It's not a habit I have. My beliefs don't require the other person to have lived by them for me to believe them. But that's not the point of this video. I don't care. Your beliefs are your beliefs. And like I said in the beginning, I don't think I'm going to change them. What I want to talk about is how everything is clearly speeding up.
conservative activist Charlie Kirk has reportedly been shot.
Terror on the campus of Evergreen High School.
Rocked by massive anti-government protests.
Deadly protests continue across the country.
Here in France, at the political situation.
Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba has moments ago said he is resigning.
Jobs growth slowed to a crawl last month.
Klarna, the stock gained 15% yesterday in its trading debut.
This 24-hour period around Charlie Kirk's death was not only inundated with all the takes I talked about, but 30 minutes after, there was again the school shooting in Colorado at a high school. There was massive violent protests in Indonesia. There was the Block Everything protests in France as they go through their fourth prime minister in 1 year. There was the student protest in Nepal where 19 students died. A woman was burned alive. Buildings are being burned. People are fighting tooth and nail to try and stop corruption and lack of economic opportunity and unemployment in Nepal. Japan, their prime minister had to step down. Their fourth in 5 years. Rising populist parties are shaking up normally very politically slow and stable Japan. NATO is dealing with Russian drones flying over NATO airspace. This would be unthinkable 10 years ago. And now Russian drones are flying over Polish airspace, invoking Article 4. High school students are continuing to lose ground in math and reading. We're in a years-long decline. And I don't think it's just high school students. If you look around, it feels like everyone's getting a little dumber and we're all getting shorter attention spans and more on edge. And this is like the worst time for that to happen because we're being hit with all of these different problems that we'd have to collectively work together to solve. So the way I feel about it is it's becoming a little more all at once and a lot less slowly, to borrow from an old video. Broadly, I feel like there was a system that was somewhat working for about 60 years, and then it was kind of limping along for about 10. And now it well and truly feels like the last 5, it has been broken. For the vast, vast majority of people, not just in America, globally, it's been broken. People don't feel like their elected officials listen to them. They don't feel like they have a real chance at the economic ladder. And any one of these individual problems globally could be solved if we were thinking about it and had some time to process and collectively work together and lend aid where possible. But when they're happening all at once, and we can't even process the shooting of one guy, it becomes very clear that things may very well likely be getting worse before they even have a chance to get better. And so, bringing it back to the beginning of this video, the reason I make this content in general is not for the money. This video is probably going to get demonetized. I would just make Pop-a-thon too, or there's other ways I could make content. I can make Hitman videos. The reason I've been more interested in this is not only my personal interest, but because I don't want to change your mind. I want to put up a bat signal. I want to broadcast to the world these ways of thinking about things to find other like-minded individuals so that when the tides of history stop throwing us around, maybe we can find some common ground and try to fix things. I truly think that's what I'm hoping to get. I want to find that I'm not alone in thinking some of these ways. And know that there's enough people out there that maybe when we get our chance, we can make some progress. I'm not a religious person. I think I got one life. And as I get older and think about having kids and stuff, I'm just realizing like we're going to have to fix this. And we may not have the opportunity right now. We don't have power. We don't have connections. Things are in different hands. I think forces are moving beyond our control. But when the chance appears, I want to be able to do that. That was my thoughts. Tomorrow's video will be way, way, way different. And I apologize because they're supposed to be funny, but this one wasn't. I'll talk about Klarna or something. But I wanted to say it anyway. Thanks for listening. Bye.